What's your name and where you're from?
My name's Randy, and I'm from Oregon.
What do you this between you and me? Are you white or black?
White.
You white. How do you feel about this? No one knows who you are. Well, no one knows your number. Okay. No one can get to you. How do you feel about black people in our community? I mean, black people in the United States, African Americans. You think they need to get their act together? Don't stutter. Don't stutter.
In what aspect?
Answer with
In
your pure
politics, in the
thoughts. What do you
economy, and
think?
what?
What do you think? You think black people should get it together, right? You think they should get it together, right? Stop taking these fathers out. How do you think about the black culture?
The biggest thing is
It's a problem.
What really blows my mind, and I look at some black guys, and one of my best friends who is in Belize right now is a preacher, a minister, a man of God. And I'm like, are you flipping kidding me? Have you read the book? Slavery is dope. This is what he does. He tells you how to do it. God is the original sex trafficker with kids. He tells you how to obtain slaves. He tells you how to treat them. If they're Hebrew, let them go in 7 years. If they're from a foreign countries, you can beat them. You can have them slaves for life. You can sell your daughter as a slave if you're poor. And then they say, I'm going to live my life and follow this guy, this book around the beliefs and writings of. It blows my mind. So that's one thing. I can't believe any black person would even walk into a church. Had anything to do with the Bible, I would, as a black person, I mean, the slave trade, the way this country, not this country, the way the whole world did slaves. And even like, there are black people down south right now that are Baptist, which you don't even have to go back much more than 100, 150 years, and you can see the whole the Baptists became an organization because they said, we need slaves. We want slaves. We organized this Baptist religion, Southern Baptist, bringing to the Congress and the people of the United States the Bible, telling us that God allowed slaves, and they were the main fighters trying to keep slaves with the Confederate flag and all that. And now you see black people walk in a Baptist flipping church. What? How? That would be like if I was Jewish. I love Hitler. I read his books. I follow his. I've got the Nazi shit on my. Why would I do that? That's terrible. And it blows my mind how a black person can walk into a Baptist church. And they were the ones, if they would have had their way, if they were successful, we would still have slaves today. Well, maybe not now. Maybe it would have been turned over again by now. But they tried. So there's one thing, but there's all kinds of things. I just can't believe. What? I'll be right with you. I just can't believe, when I was really, really young, I read, my dad gave me books, Martin Luther King. And one thing that I always remembered was and so I was never raised around this guy's whatever religion or color of his skin. Why a man can be judged by his character, not the color of his skin. I remember that was one saying in a Martin Luther King book. Mm-hmm. But that's just. I was fortunate because I wasn't raised around it, and that's a problem, because I see people now that when their dads telling them from 3-year-old up that Hispanics this, Jewish that, black people this, they get these kids that sometimes they can't help. By the time they're 12 years old, it's just stuck. I wasn't raised around that.
Yeah.
So I never thought. I remember one time when I was 9 years old, and my best friend, they were twins. They were Hispanic guys that lived across the street. And one of my buddies came up and said, my dad said, you shouldn't play with those guys because I don't know what the slur was. I'm going to say this, and I'm going to apologize, but I think the term, and this was in the 60s, I think the term was wetback. And I was just like, what are you talking about? These are my buddies. I had no idea that I should dislike my baseball buddies because their dad or their grandfather was from another country, that my other friend's dad had a prejudice. You know, it just that was never part. I didn't understand that, but I remember it because there was, especially growing up in the 60s, I remember all that shit. And how, my God, just to go to school somewhere. And there was one guy, politician, I think it was in Georgia, Alabama, that was like, he ran, his platform was segregation now and segregation forever. I mean, and this was like, people would just get up and clap. And I'm voting for this guy. And that's what blows me away today about all the black support for Trump. You know, but you know, I voted for him too. But God, what a racist! He is the president, but I would have bet you, especially when I was in my 30s and 40s, back in the 80s and 90s, I would have bet you my life, this country, Americans would never vote for president anybody that was convicted of crimes, this Epstein pedophile stuff. I mean, that's just not a rumor. There are pictures of him there. I mean, it's for anybody to say, yeah, he was there, but I'm sure he didn't touch anybody. You know, the excuses and the apologists. I mean, that he was there. We know what happened there. So I mean, that's like going to a Diddy party and saying, yeah, I was just there and had a glass of water and I left. No, if you were there, you were there. But I mean, my God, he was convicted of sexual assault in a civil court. He's lied and cheated on. He lies. His whole business was set up. Do you know his dad left him about $450 million in the 80s? And through the art of the deal and all his brilliant business moves, in 40 years, he took that $450 million and turned it into about $300 million. And that's after lying and cheating. And we all seen the paperwork on his insurance application and his bank loan. None of it's true. He would inflate this and decrease that. And he did that on pretty much every business transaction. Read Mark Cuban's book. He's done plenty of business with Trump, and he's just a liar and a cheater. And what amazes me is that we just support this guy. Yeah, he's our guy. He's our man. And what one of the reasons that it's easy to stay with MAGA is whatever he does. It doesn't matter. If he would have kept the peace for the next 10 years, because trust me, he's not going anywhere in 28. And there won't be an election in 28. I'll just say that. He tried to stay in power in 20. No, he had no support around him. Even people like his vice president said, no, you have to leave. This time, he's going nowhere. He's got the Supreme Court. He's got Congress. He's got the head of the Department of Justice, FBI. Anybody that could legally step in and remove the president from office will be his people, and they won't do it. Yeah. So I'll just say that. So we got him for at least another decade.
Yeah, you think so? Randy,
no, you think that's crazy?
Randy, yeah, I think it is. Randy, he's going to leave. He's going to leave in 20 days. Randy, yeah, I got to go, man. I got to go. Randy.
A president's going to lose an election and try to stay in power.
Randy, snap out of it, man. Okay, listen, thank you, man. I really appreciate it, but you don't put a period at the end of it. I can't even stop. Hey, listen, I really appreciate you calling in. I called you back. I like what you said. I disagree with some of the stuff you said. I just want you to know that,
Randy. Give me 20 seconds and I'll leave, okay? Shut me off.
Okay.
In 2020, 6 months before the election, I was asked, it was a family barbecue. I said, is Biden going to win? Is Trump going to get reelected? I said, it doesn't matter. Trump will attempt to stay in power. I was told I was crazy. That would never happen in America. We would always have a peaceful transfer of power. I said, no, even if he loses, he'll try to stay in power. People said I was dumb. It happened. He tried. In 2028, do you really think he's just going to walk away? Think about it. He's just going to, my time is done.
Yeah.
I'm stepping away.
Thank you. God bless
If you really think that's his personality and that's what he's going to do, I think you're misreading Trump.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Have a good one. Thanks for letting me talk.
No problem.
Have a good night.
You too. Bye.